Constitution's just a ghost in chains. Freedom slipping down the drains. Rise up, break the chains. No billionaire should run the game. Lying, scheming, stealing rights. If we don't fight, we lose tonight. End of democracy comes in waves. Justice buried in shallow graves. Stand up loud, don't be the slaves. Unmake the cage, unmake the cage. Tick tock, time's running out. They're burning the laws, there ain't no doubt. Oh no, America, what you gonna do? Rights getting burned and they're coming for you.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Guys, so here's the situation. There's been a lot going on. I literally was exporting something right now to show you guys because I've been editing up to the last second here. So I'm just doing that now. Oh my goodness. Here we go. Guys, it's been a few minutes. I'm going to take that out for a second because there's a big delay, but I want to be able to hear the video that I'm going to play for you guys here in a moment. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. Yeah. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, let's talk about it. There is so much stuff going on right now in the world. It is not even funny. I had originally titled this The Big Beautiful Bill. And there's so much more happening right now. Like, I can't even tell you guys. It's like, I'm overwhelmed. I've been out of commission for about a week, as you guys may or may not know, with pneumonia. I'm still fighting that. So I'm going to try and keep this as brief as possible. But that's why I've condensed the other videos that I'm going to be referencing down to a more manageable form. Because there's certain things that I've been able to do in my resting time, which is like, consuming a lot of content, just because I've been really unable to sleep the last week due to excessive coughing, breathing problems. So much fun, which is why I'm having a hot cuppa right now of some lemon tea to keep me going here. But in the process of having done this, the last live I did, which was nearly an hour, and starting this one, and having a panic because I let my kid use my desk for them. Like they had like a meeting down here, a virtual meeting, right? And I was like, okay, cool beans, no worries, come on down. And then like I couldn't find shit on my desk, which is pushed it back. And I'm like running up and down the stairs because I have my hot cuppa and I have a cold cuppa. I am drinking so much fluids, guys. I can't even tell you. But we have a lot of ground to cover. So I'm without belaboring it, let's dive right in. Let's dive right in, first of all, to the big, beautiful bill. Okay. And let's just pull that up here. I'm gonna send you guys these links so you guys can also see it. But this is an article from the AP, basically talking about the big, beautiful bill. Let me put that in there for you guys. Okay. And this is a basic breakdown. Okay. Of, both of those went on top of each other. There we go. Of, what's happening. What else is showing right now? Oh, that one's showing. Okay. There we go. Of, exactly what's in the bill. If you guys want to take the time to read the 1,000 plus pages of this bill that they did not put through enough debates and passed in the middle of the night, you guys can read that whole bill right here. There's the entire bill for you. And this article gives you a good kind of condensation of what's happening in there. Okay. Now, basically, there's one line that keeps getting repeated over and over, even by congressmen that I like. Okay. And they keep saying that this is a transfer of wealth. And I'm going to say this to that. Number one, A lot of people, myself included, who do not have wealth are very confused. Are you talking about us? What are you transferring from us? I don't have wealth to give you. So a lot of people, I think, especially poor people or, middle class people who don't consider themselves wealthy think, well, that's not going to happen to me. I don't have wealth. That is incorrect. Okay. It is not a transfer of our wealth, America. This is straight up robbery of every piece of income, every piece of healthcare, every piece of American dream that we could achieve is being barred, is being stripped from us. Okay. This is the point that we have to get. There is no transfer of wealth. This is literally the rich robbing the poor to become more rich because too many poors got it in their head that they could somehow be part of it. Okay. Right. Like that's not what's happening. Is any of that playing? I don't think it's playing. None of it is playing. I have to fix that later. I have to do a whole reboot later. We have to get over this idea that there is a transfer happening. I didn't authorize the transfer. If I authorize the transfer of my funds, I have to go into my bank account. I have to go into that app, right? And say, yes, I'm transferring this money, right? No one on this side of the accounting has said, yes, please take all of my money. Please take all of my rights. Please take all of my hopes and dreams for myself and my, children, and just you guys do what you want. Okay. And somebody mentioned Robin Hood. I was playing around with the idea, like we have these characters throughout history, right, that are on the side of justice. We've made entire comic books about them, movies, etc. Robin Hood is a big, fictional character that we have all idealized for our lives. That there was this guy in Nottingham Forest that was like robbing the rich to feed the poor, and just this scoundrel guy who was bucking the system. Right? Oh, did I hit the? Oh, good grief! What did I hit? I sound like what? Was it that one? I don't know. Hopefully, I turned it off. I don't know what I've turned on. Okay, I've turned it off now. I apologize, guys. I was trying to play this. But it didn't really, it's not really coming through. So anyway, that's fine. I'll figure out my soundboard later. But that's the real deal. These people don't exist, okay? And I've been watching a very not good show lately, just because I was like, hey, it's in the middle of the Marvel universe. It's supposed to connect a couple things. I'll watch it. It's a couple seasons, whatever. And that show is The Iron Fist. And if you guys want to watch a terribly acted, terribly choreographed Timu Kung Fu show about the whiniest version of Anakin Skywalker we've ever seen, Danny Rand, Jesus H. Christ on a cracker. Anyway, what's important about this show is that through fiction, oftentimes a lot of truth is told, even in the worst of shows. And over and over and over again in this show, they repeat, and this was made, mind you, in 2017, 2018. Okay. They remind you again and again that there are no more governments of Earth. There are only oligarchies. And we are seeing that play out here in our government in a way we have never seen in the light of day before. Okay? We have never, guys, never seen true rampant criminal oligarchy with no regard to human life play out in the public like this. Ever. Ooh, almost dumped my cuppa. Okay. So how did this come about? How did we get here? Guys, this isn't just a Trump problem. I know that's going to be a shocking statement. This isn't just a Trump problem. This problem has been going on for well over 100 years. This problem has been with us since the Gilded Age. Okay, so we have to rewind the clock here over 100 years back to the Gilded Age, the post-Civil War era in the United States. Our country was an absolute fucking chaos. Okay, we'd just been torn apart by civil war. Millions of people died in that war, and where did we end up? We ended up in an enormous genocide that was still playing out here in this country that we don't acknowledge with our First Peoples, our Native Americans, Indians, however you want to depict that, shoving them further and further into internment camps known colloquially as reservations. Like, that just makes it, talk about whitewashing. It's reservation. No, we gave them a plot of land that we thought they couldn't do jack shit with and corralled them and told them to go fuck themselves. Okay? Well, we provided them with unhealthy food, bullshit, no rights, and still don't acknowledge what we did, what we're currently doing, and the problems that lie therein. And now still trying to steal back that land from them, as if the rest of America wasn't enough theft on our part. Still trying to steal back that land from them, because now we figured out, oh, hot dog, that shit's got, fucking minerals and shit on it that we actually need. Okay. And as a result of all of this, there was this prosperity in the Gilded Age. Now, this prosperity, of course, came for a very select few families. Okay. In America, the Vanderbilts, right? The Johnson & Johnson family, all these big names that are still with us 100 years down the line, that we still have respect for, that we still have reverence for. Those guys started the Industrial Revolution that, yes, changed the whole world, some for the good, I would argue mostly for the bad, and pushed a concentration of wealth in this country out of the American dream prospect where anybody can come here, build a life, make it, back into the hands of the very few, while doing it legally so under the guise of, laws. Now, 50 years later, people were like, uh-oh, hot dog, there's too many big groups that own too much shit, too much power in very few hands. What happened? We broke up the monopolies. Right? We broke up the railroads. We broke up the phone companies. We did all these things. What has happened again now? Guys, look where we are. We're back in the same fucking scenario. We are back. We have come full circle in about those 100 years. We are back in the same fucking scenario right now, guys. All of the power, all of the money, all of the employment, everything. It's in the hands of the Waltons who own, Walmart. It's in the hands of Apple and Google and Nvidia and, all of in Facebook, right? All of these companies, these mega conglomerates, Nestle, right? Johnson & Johnson, PepsiCo, Coca-Cola. All of that, okay, is the same scenario that we had back in the Gilded Age. And what did the Gilded Age produce? Child labor camps, basically, right? We had no child labor laws. We had children working in these newfangled machines, right, to mass produce bullshit for consumption. Okay? This is all about consumption and people making a profit off that consumption. So what has President Trump done? He's taken that model and he has casinoified America for his personal benefit, not for the benefit of the American people. Much like the American government was like, hey, you know what, Native Americans, we're going to throw you a bone. We're going to let you guys open up casinos on your land because it's not technically our country, in states that don't have legalized gambling. And then you guys can do what you want with that money. Now, Everyone threw a fit. The mafia, all of the longtime casino owners in like Vegas and New York and Atlantic City, right? All these guys were like, hey. If these guys get to have a casino, then we don't got control of the casinos. Capiche? Right? So those guys were having a total shit fit that other people were going to have an equal opportunity at gambling, right? And maybe the Native American community would be able to pull itself up by its bootstraps, right? To fucking get out of the generational poverty that we put them in by stealing their land and genociding them. And now Trump's doing that with America. It is literally pay to play, guys. It is literally pay to play here. Okay? Pay to play. And if you don't pay, then we're going to fuck your shit up. All right? So I'm going to circle back to the big, beautiful bill. So they debated this. It passed by a very narrow margin last night, in the middle of the night, 215 to 214 votes with an asterisk. Let's dive into the asterisk here really quick. Okay, this is another website I'm going to give you guys. This is where you can go to see, my mods can drop it actually, where you guys can go to see any vote that happens, okay, for the House of Representatives, all right? And then you can scroll down and you can search any way you want. So let's go over this vote. The Republicans, 215 of them voted yay. Every single Democrat voted no. 3 people, one guy voted present, and 2 people just said, I'm not voting. What? I'm sorry. Let's break this down. So the guy, we had 2 Republicans who voted nay. Okay? 2 Republicans joined our side to say, not today, Satan. And these guys should get pumped up. Okay? Warren Davidson, he is from the 8th Republican, 8th District of Ohio. Please send him some flowers, something. Okay. Here's his contact info. You guys can screenshot that. Give him a shout out. The other person who voted for the sanctity of democracy, Thomas Massey, from the 4th District in Kentucky. All right. There's his contact info. Please give him a call and thank him for voting for democracy. The Republican who voted, that's the not voting, guys. The Republican who voted, where's the Republic? Okay. Well, this is the guys who voted not voting. Okay. Let's get these guys voted out of office. What the fuck? This guy, Andrew Garabino, is from the 2nd District of New York. They're on the coast. Go fuck yourself, Andrew Garabino. I'm not voting. You're not voting? Fuck you. You have one job to do. It's to vote on shit. That's your entire job. I fucking say dock this guy's entire pay, right? Same thing with this bajumba, okay? David Schweikert, however you say that, Schweikert, from Arizona, from the 1st District of Arizona. Not voting? Not voting? What the fuck? No vote? Give him a call, okay? And then there was one dude. Where's the guy who voted present? I didn't pull him up. See, now you can do this, and I'm going to pull up just present. This fucking douche right here, Andy Harris from Maryland, voted present. I don't think present or not voting should be an option. If anyone else feels that way, go, it's a yes or no. Okay, you have one job to decide yes or no on things that are going to affect all Americans. If you don't have the fucking balls or the decision-making ability to say yes or no to cutting off $500 billion to Medicaid recipients, then you don't deserve the trust of your constituents. This is insane. Thank you, Truth Seeker. Exactly. Could anybody else walk into their job and just be like, present, and then just like do fucking nothing to do nothing? This is insane. We would all be fired. We would all be fired. We would be instantly fired. Okay? Okay. We're just going to cut to one thing. This is breaking news from like 30 minutes ago. Okay? What? This is just what just happened 30 minutes ago. I can't make this shit up, guys.
Says today it will now block Harvard University from enrolling international students.
The government is revoking a certificate that allows the university to take in students from abroad. In a letter, the government also says in part that all international students must, quote, transfer from Harvard to maintain their non-immigrant status.
Let's bring in NBC News.
I'm sorry. So the president of the United States and his administration think they have the right to tell a privately funded school that they cannot have students from another country. And then secondly, to double down on that, all these foreign students that you have at your school that's paid you money to be here in America studying law have to transfer to another school, or they will risk losing their student citizenship status here. This is guys, this is fascism. There is no other way, okay? There is no other way to describe what is happening in Trump's personal battle with Harvard, okay? Because Harvard Law School had the fucking cojones to say, you know what? No, we're not going to back down. We're not taking DEI out of our fucking, doctrine or what we say or anything. We're good. We're good. You're not the boss of us. Turns out we're a university. Now they're literally going to start rounding up and deporting foreign students at Harvard because they chose Harvard and are paying for it. That's just right now, guys. Okay. Now, as if that weren't crazy enough, okay, for those of you who did not see, I have to pull up my other thing here. Sorry. For those of you who did not see this interview with, where is all my stuff? With President Trump. There we go. Okay, I'm going to put a link to this. I'm going to link it at the end and all of that. But I want to show you guys a little bit. Now, yesterday, Trump had a meeting with the South African president, okay, where the South African president traveled to America with a massive delegation of his cabinet, of professionals, of the Secretary of Agriculture of South Africa, of, and then just to get Trump to be like, yeah, you guys come, he brought some fucking professional golfers that were handpicked and requested by President Trump. These guys have known Trump a long time, and they were like, okay, we'll come. It's for the good of the world. We're going to come and explain to him there's no fucking white genocide. Okay? Because that's how important it is to these rando golfers who could totally be golfing right now and earning a paycheck. But instead, Trump has them come to the White House. Okay? I'm just going to play this for you guys. There's important stuff I want you to see here. I've cut it together. It was almost 2 hours. I've cut it way down to 28 minutes. Okay? Let's dive in here. Okay.
The president is a truly respected man in many, many circles, and in some circles he's considered a little controversial. But we're going to be discussing some of the things that are taking place in South Africa and see if we can help. But it is a great honor to have you, and I appreciate you called. He called. I don't know where he got my number, but I picked up. He said, I want to come over and see.
Who says that to a visiting dignitary? Just real quick, I have to go off the subject here for 1 second. I don't know how many of you in your life have had the absolute honor to know people from the continent of Africa. I count myself lucky to have met many people from South Africa, from Zimbabwe, from Nigeria, and a few other countries that are escaping my mind right now, and I apologize to those guys. Despite the oppression that these Africans have gone through in their life, apartheid, enslavement, genocide in many and various forms. I have never been so humbled and so amazed by people than those who I got to spend, a year working with very intimately, and to see the grace and compassion and kindness with which the president of South Africa handled this absolutely fucking trash dumpster fire of a situation that he was thrust into. I was not shocked. I would strive to be more like this president. He is truly a great man and someone who is absolutely walking in every step that Nelson Mandela put out. But let's get back to this video here so you guys can see this absolute debacle.
That was my honor, and thank you very much for being here.
You're most welcome.
Thank
most
you
welcome. But I also thank you for allowing our delegation. This is a very mixed delegation that you've got. We've got people from government, my ministers. I've got someone from the trade union movement who we really collaborate with, and from business as well, and our sporting legends. When I spoke to you, you said, yes, come along and bring Gary Player, bring Eddie Els and Retief Goosen. I've brought the two of them. Gary Player, I spoke to him, and he said, look, I'm getting rather on in my years.
Did you see how he got disappointed that Gary Player wasn't there? Like, bro, it's not about you. This is about democracy.
But wishes us luck in this discussion with you.
Any questions, please?
Mr. President, we welcome white Afrikaner refugees here. Can you explain to Americans why it's appropriate to welcome white Afrikaners here when other refugees like Afghans, Venezuelans,
Look how disgusted he
Asians
is.
have all had their protected status revoked?
Well, this is a group, NBC, that is truly fake news. They ask a lot of questions in a very pointed way. They're not questions, they're statements. We've had tremendous complaints about Africa, about other countries too.
That is a false lie. It's just false. There haven't been tremendous complaints about Africa. Like I said, I'm gonna post this whole video. I'm gonna make it public here in a minute, but I'm gonna fast forward a bit here because I want to show you guys different parts really quick.
A tremendous number of people, especially since they've seen this. Generally, they're white farmers, and they're fleeing South Africa, and it's a very sad thing to see. But I hope we can have an explanation of that, because I know you don't want that.
For you to be convinced that there's no genocide.
Well, you'd recall when President Zelensky was coming to South Africa, that's when I spoke to you.
That's right.
We both agreed
That was the first time that reporter tries to get that question answered. Totally ignored.
that we need to push the peace message so that there can really be peace. And we've been involved in the Ukraine-Russia conflict for quite a while.
So then he talks.
I'm Minister of State Security.
I want to play this
here.
part to you here.
Dealing with them, the exchange of children. Yeah, I'd rather answer that. It will be some of those learnings, and I specifically mentioned to him that this is how Nelson Mandela taught us that when you want to have a peace in a country, do it on an unconditional basis and sit down and talk. And that's precisely what I'm sure he's going to do.
Now listen to this
Well,
question.
we're going to see what happens with that one. It's there's a lot of hatred. There's a lot of death. It's a bloodbath.
President, this time, what will it take for you to be convinced that there's no white genocide in South Africa?
Well, I can answer that for the president.
Look at his face. Look at his face.
It's for him. No, seriously.
I'd rather have him answer.
Yeah, I'd rather answer.
I'd rather have him answer.
It will be.
Our president will respond to you.
Yeah, let me,
Thank you, Mr. President.
it will take President Trump listening to the voices of South Africans, some of whom are his good friends, like those who are here. When we have talks between us on the around a quiet table, it will take President Trump to listen to them. I'm not going to be repeating what I've been saying. I would say if there was Afrikaner farmer genocide, I can bet you these three gentlemen would not be here, including my Minister of Agriculture. He would.
See, you see how upset Trump is? How he's like, bro, this can't be happening because these guys wouldn't be here. So now he's going to be sad panda. Okay. Now, this is where it gets wild.
Turn that, I could show you a couple of things, and it has to be responded to.
Yeah, sure.
Let me see the article.
So the South African president absolutely wants to have this discussion with him and keeps trying to be like, we're going to talk about this after because we need to like have a minute to ourselves to talk about that. Just kidding. This is real.
Please, if you would, and turn the lights down. Turn the lights down, and just put this on. It's right behind you, Johan.
There's nothing this parliament can do. Without you, people are going to occupy land. We require no.
This is a propaganda film that he puts on. Look at them. Makes him watch this film. Now I've sped this up here. Look at him looking this. The poor South African president listening to this propaganda film. He can't see from where he's sitting. Now he keeps looking a little bit, right? Because there's people standing in front of him. This film goes on a long time.
Now this is very bad. These are burial sites right here. Burial sites. Over 1,000 of white farmers, and those cars are lined up to pay love on a Sunday morning.
Now I want you guys to pay attention. He says burial sites. He repeats that lie over and over and over and over again. Now, we've all seen on Memorial Day and other things where people will take a plot of land. Sometimes it's happened where I've seen like in front of libraries or other public spaces, and they will put in, that was not what I meant to do. Like thousands and thousands of crosses. Something similar happened when they did the AIDS quilt project, right? There was all these squares and it stretched out over the whole mall in Washington, right? In front of the Washington Monument. There was thousands of names of people who had died as part of the AIDS epidemic. Those are not burial sites, right? So when you put thousands of crosses over like an acre of land, let's say, or 1,000 crosses in like a tight area, people aren't buried there. It could be a memorial representing 1,000 people who had allegedly died at the hands of this alleged genocide that doesn't exist because it's fucking made up white fucking propaganda. But it's not a burial site. And when the president's press secretary was questioned about that today, why would the president repeat a false statement for the entire world and to the South African president? Yamiche was like hammered by the press secretary saying, how dare you? How dare you say such a thing? He said it like 5 times that they were burial sites. Okay. This is not something Yamiche made up. Now, does each one of those crosses represent a farmer who passed away? I don't know. But it's not a burial site. It's not a mass grave that 1,000 whites were dumped in. Okay. That's the imagery that they're trying to evoke with this to prop up, white genocide in South Africa. Is that what we're really doing right now? White genocide in South Africa? This has to be the biggest joke of all time. Okay, guys, because anyone with 2 brain cells to click together okay, can go and Google some shit. Okay, let's Google some shit. Where's my Googlies at? Where are you? Here we go. Okay, so I Googled two very important things before this show. Okay, anybody else can Google this. You'll probably get the same result, maybe not. Okay, first question of Google: what's the population of South Africa by race? This is important. Let's look at it. Okay, now this is 3-year-old data, so I'm imagining it didn't shift too much. Okay, in 2022, the population of South Africa was 62 million. 62 million people. Black Africans making up 81.45% of those people. Okay. You can see the population and percentages right over there. Okay. Black Africans, 81. Colored people, that's mixed race people that are not pure white. Okay. 8% only white. Okay. 7.3%. Indian or Asian people, 2.7%. And other, I don't know what the fuck those people are, 0.39%. Okay. So then if you look at the number of people, okay, we're talking 50.8 million black people, okay, 50.8 million black people, 4.6 million white people. Now, what number makes a genocide? I don't know. I'm not here to like debate how many people have to die before we classify something as a genocide, but genocide is that's a big boy word. That's a $5 word. That is not something we just toss around because a couple people get murdered, right? A genocide is a very specific thing. Okay. Now, so far they're saying 1,000 white farmers have died. 1,000. Okay. I will literally have to ask Siri because I can't do that math. What percentage of 4.6 million is 1,000? 0.02174%. 0.02174%. I am no genocide
Each one of those
expert. I am
white
no
things
math
you see
expert,
is a
but I'm going to
cross.
say that's not a genocide.
And
That's
there's
just not, it
approximately
doesn't
1,000
classify.
of
It's
them.
not the same
They're all
thing.
white farmers,
right?
the family of white farmers.
It's not the same
And those cars
situation.
aren't driving, they're stopped there
It's
to
just
pay
really
respects
like
to their family member
you can't
who
put
was
those things in
killed.
the same sentence, okay?
And it's a terrible sight.
And then
I've
we
never seen
have
anything
the
like
second
it.
question I asked of Google: percentage of black farmers in South
Both
Africa.
sides
Because
of the
they're saying all
road,
these
you have
whites
crosses.
are farmers, right? Okay, so it's very
All
hard
killed.
to figure out
Have they
how
told
many
you
black
where that
people
is,
own
Mr.
land
President?
because apartheid.
No, I'd like to know
Because
where
of
that
the
is.
Boer
This I've
invasion
never seen.
for hundreds of years of a piece of land that was never
It's in South
white
Africa,
owned,
that's true.
that was never property
What
of
would
these
you like
white
President
people
Ramaphosa to
who
do
now
about the
are
situation
upset
I
because
don't know.
South Africa has moved
I
into the
don't
year
know.
2025
Or-
and is like,
look,
yo,
these are
we got to
articles
set a
over the
few
last
things fucking
few
right
days.
here. Like when y'all
Death
came a
of
few centuries back
people.
and stole our shit and
Death.
enslaved our people and
Death.
fucked shit up, we
Death.
are, a video's playing?
Horrible death. Death. I
Oh, the
don't
video's
know.
playing behind me. I'm sorry. I didn't catch that soon enough. I fixed it. Hopefully it's fixed now. I don't know why it kept playing. Let me go. That one's not playing. Which one was playing? Okay. I don't know. Yeah. And then he goes through these articles. Grandpa printed the internet, guys. Fucking grandpa printed the internet in large type so that he could show all of these articles. And guys, they have paper clips on them. Who fucking uses paper clips in 2025? What the hell is going on? Anyway, we'll just get rid of that for right now. Okay. Let me go back over here. All right. So This is literally, guys, it is so ridiculous. Don't let that man talk over you. I'm sorry, I didn't know. I didn't know it was happening. That press conference is a shambles, guys. I'm going to release that video after this one so you guys can go through the whole thing and see it, because it's important to see all this stuff. Okay? It's important to see what exactly is said and when it's said. Now, because they're trying to set things right in South Africa, they are doing it with equality and equity. Okay. The government is doing that. That's not to say that there aren't fringe groups out there that are like, fuck you, and say all kinds of wild shit, but they are not an official representative of the government of South Africa in any way, shape, or form. And the president of South Africa said multiple times that what they were doing was criminal and it's not allowed by the government. But that's not good enough for Trump. That's not good enough for Trump and the white supremacists who are like, thousands of people are dying. Everyone's afraid for their life. The white people, they're all in danger. Like 4.6 million people are in danger for their life right now. If that were true, let's just look at the numbers again. Let's play devil's advocate. If the 50.8 million black people in South Africa were like, you know what? Let's kill all the whites. I'm pretty sure they could get it done since they are, 12 times the amount that they are. Right? There's literally like a 10-to-1 ratio. Okay? That is not their intention. That is not anything they've said. But they could do it. They have the numbers. Like, white people, again, fucking everything up as always. Like, Jesus fucking Christ on a cracker. Okay, so then, as if that's all of this isn't bad enough, okay? All of this wasn't bad enough. What did Trumpity Bump Bump do then? Right. So as you guys know from an episode I did previously talking about Trump's cryptocurrency scam, tonight's the big night, y'all. Tonight is the big night, y'all, where he's holding a private dinner, okay? Private dinner for those lucky enough to have bought enough, okay, of the Trump meme coin to earn a seat at this very exclusive table for 200 people, where he will be wining and dining them and then giving exclusive tours to the White House to God the fuck knows who. Because when you purchase cryptocurrency, guys, for those of you who don't know, it's anonymous. Most of the transactions that have netted Trump and his family hundreds of millions of dollars are completely anonymous international transactions. The ones that we do know about, Jason's son, the UAE, that's been kind of public. And those two groups, Jason's son's an individual, but the UAE's group, have pumped in well over hundreds of millions of dollars into these projects for him, which is going straight into Trump's pockets. The Emolument Act says he cannot do that without coming before Congress and saying, I'm getting this stuff. Is it cool? He's doing what he wants. He's profiting off of cryptocurrency, off of golf course, being built around the world, off of hotel deals around the world, accepting jets that is going to the Air Force. The Air Force can't do anything with that fucking jet. They will spend more than we would have paid for a new jet to retrofit it so that it can be classified as Air Force One. The Saudis were so desperate to get rid of this thing, they were like, fuck it, we'll take a loss, and gave it to America. Now, do you think that for 1 second this isn't a complete outward bribe of our American president? Of course it is. Of course it is, guys. So the Democrats, let me pull a few Democrats here trying to make a statement, have asked for President Trump to, as they are calling it, release the list. Okay. They want him to release the guest list and make it public as to who is showing up to this party tonight. Now, I just want to show you a little bit of this. Mostly, I'm going to show you my favorite, Elizabeth Warren, because she is my favorite, and that's fine. But let's check this out here. And I'll be releasing this again, condensing down like an hour-long presser to just the nuggets here for you guys. It's still 29 minutes, but I wanted you to hear everything they were talking about. All right, let's get into it.
This is the most corrupt White House in the history of the country. Just because the corruption is playing out in public where everybody can see it doesn't mean that it isn't rampant, rapacious corruption. And what is happening tonight, this private, secret dinner in which individuals who have put money in Donald Trump's pocket get access to him, is maybe the most corrupt of all of the corruption. Tonight, Donald Trump will have a secret dinner and meeting with the 200 individuals who have spent the most money buying up his meme coin. Donald Trump's meme coin has no value in and of itself. Its only value is based upon how much demand exists for the meme coin. And it's not hard to inflate demand for a product that doesn't have any value when you're president of the United States and you have...
Right? Let's skip ahead to Elizabeth here, because I want you to hear her whole statement.
...business to try to get favorable treatment from the government that is not his, that is ours.
Donald Trump's dinner is an orgy of corruption.
That sums it up, guys. It's an orgy of corruption.
That's what this is all about. We are here today to talk about exactly one topic: corruption. Corruption in its ugliest form. Donald Trump is using the presidency of the United States to make himself richer through crypto. And he's doing it right out there in plain sight. He is signaling to anyone who wants to ask for a special favor and is willing to pay for it exactly how to do that. So let us count the ways. Just before his inauguration, Donald Trump launched a crypto meme coin, and he has since signed executive orders to boost the value of that coin. In just 3 months, he has already made hundreds of millions of dollars off that launch. Then Trump appointed a cast of industry insiders to run crypto policy: Howard Lutnick, Paul Atkins, and David Sachs, each of whom has extensive personal and financial ties to the industry, and each of whom is in a government position to boost crypto fortunes and Donald Trump's personal fortunes even more. Trump, number 3, disbanded the DOJ's crypto enforcement, effectively crippling enforcement of the current laws. The timing on this was particularly juicy. The unit was shut down just as Binance, a giant foreign crypto exchange that had pleaded guilty to criminal violations related to money laundering, was exploring a deal with the Trump family crypto venture. And one more. Trump's SEC quietly backed off enforcement actions and investigations against the crypto firms that poured millions into Donald Trump's inauguration. Tonight, though, is the topper. Tonight is the orgy of corruption. Tonight, Donald Trump will host a private, intimate dinner and a White House tour for the top buyers of his meme coin, many of whom remain anonymous. The American people have no idea who is buying access to the president and no idea what they are getting in return. Last month, Donald Trump and his family launched yet another crypto venture. This time, he issued a stable coin he calls USD1. And already, that venture is awash in corruption as well. An Abu Dhabi investment firm with ties to the United Arab Emirates and to China has already invested $2 billion in Trump's stablecoin,
Mm-hmm.
making millions and millions more for Trump and the Trump family. And the corruption is already paying off handsomely for the criminals. Justin Sun, the top buyer of Trump's meme coin and a major investor in his family's crypto venture, will be having an especially good time at tonight's dinner. He just received word that the SEC has paused its fraud enforcement actions against Sun and his company. Americans sent out.
Isn't that just so convenient for him? Just so nice. Just what a coinky dink all this is.
Us to Congress to unrig the economy for them, not to help the president turn the White House into a crypto cash machine. The Genius Act should be written to prohibit the president and his family from directly or indirectly profiting from any stablecoin venture, period. Without this fix, we're not regulating stablecoins. We are turbocharging the same corruption that we are witnessing tonight as Donald Trump opens the White House doors and sells favors to his wealthy crypto allies. We need to put a stop to this.
There's a
Yeah. There's a lot of people who spoke. I cut their statements down. But yeah, guys, there's no there's no getting around this. There's no America's for sale right now to the highest bidder. Let's be real. Let's be honest. America is for sale to the highest bidder. And it's a fire sale right now. And we will be fortunate. We will be lucky if one shred of democracy remains in this country at the end of this terrible, terrible time. As you can see, there are people fighting back in Congress. The House Democrats did their job last night and voted no. 2 Republicans had a fucking backbone and voted no. 3 Republicans should be immediately fired for minimally just not doing their fucking job and not voting by, just fucking taking the coward's route out, saying present or not voting, which is, as much as I cannot stand the Republicans who are voting to strip every single thing that actually makes America, America away, to sell it to the highest bidder, to profit, to line their own pockets. At least they stand on their fucked up principles. Okay? What do? Well, we know how the Gilded Age ended. Didn't end well for the oligarchs. They've taken the last 100 years to slowly, build their shit back up and do it very, slow and steady wins the race till we're the frog in the pot. We're the frog in the motherfucking pot, guys. We didn't do away with this the first time it came around. We're not doing away with it now. It is stronger. It is faster. It is worse than before, because what we're seeing right now is a new industrial revolution that is powered by super fast changes on an hourly, minute, moment by moment basis. This is a juggernaut that is not going to be just stopped, by the, we are the man with the shopping bag in Tiananmen Square. If those of you who are listening to me are too young to know what happened in Tiananmen Square, a single man had the backbone of his entire country while walking home with a shopping bag and his work briefcase with him, and stood in front of a tank to say no. And what happened to that man? He was run over by that tank on live television for the entire world to see. It started a bit of a revolution there, which they quickly quashed. But that man, that integrity, that willingness to stand up to a literal tank and say no That's the level of backbone we all need to have right now. Because we're not getting out of this unscathed, guys. Okay? This isn't some fucking, we're just gonna, sit idly by. There will be consequences on both sides. Now, the consequence of doing nothing is worse than standing up and putting yourself in that literal line of fire to stand up for democracy, to stand up for your rights, for everyone around you's rights to live, to exist. Okay? Trump and his cronies want to falsely put out propaganda saying there's a white genocide happening in South Africa, which is not occurring. And we are willing to break every rule that he put in place in immigration and everything else to transport 49 white South Africaners here who look like they walked out of a Cabela's getting the MAGA package of camo, okay? But we're okay with the fact that the UN has put out a statistic with the actual genocide happening in Gaza that 14 to 16,000 babies are going to die because of starvation. Because of the USAID that we cut off at the fucking kneecaps, millions of people around the world will die. When Trump was asked about that during that press conference, which I will put up and you guys can watch, he said, well, it's time for other people to pony up some money. People always come to America when they want money, but maybe other people should pay. That's how little he cares for human life that cannot make a profit for him. People do not have value to oligarchs. You are a number in the system. You are a cog in the machine. But the thing that they forget is that all of these machines that have to keep going, right? All of these machines that have to keep going so that they can survive, so that they can profit and continue to become more and more rich, more than anybody could possibly need in any amount of lifetimes. Those cogs have to keep working. Those cogs have to keep doing their job. Or what? Everybody dies? No, everybody doesn't die. Everybody doesn't die. Just the super elite, just the oligarchs. Everyone else will survive. Those individual cogs say, you know what? I don't want to be part of this machine anymore. What does that actually mean? It means the machine stops doing what the machine does, which is harming those cogs inside of it so that the person who owns the machine keeps making money. We all have to wake up. We have to wake up and realize we are the cog. Even if you think I'm not the cog, I've got a good job, I've got healthcare, I've got all these things, you're a fucking cog. You are not one of them. You are the people who are going to get fucked even more than you thought was possible. Those of you who make around $500K a year, you're next. They don't want anyone to profit. It's a very exclusive club. You are not in it. And they are laughing because we all keep being part of the machine. No matter what happens, egg prices, $12 a dozen. Well, we're still buying eggs. Gotta have those eggs. Gotta have that beef. Gotta have that gas. How do we stop it? We stop being part of it. We stop being part of it. Go watch A Day Without a Mexican. It's not a documentary. I understand that. It's a fictional account of what would happen if every single, immigrant worker were no longer here. There's another great movie, which is very dark, which explains this better. And for those of you guys who are Captain America fans, you will know this film because you're a Chris Evans fan like I am. But it was a film he did a few years back that, is pretty wild, but let me pull it up here. It is, I think it might have actually been before all of the Captain America stuff. Yeah. Yeah, it was before that. Let me pull it up here. How far back does this go? Boy, I thought this was a lot closer, and I can't remember the title, so I'm literally searching through his IMDb right now. Oh, no, it was in the middle of Captain America. It was right after he did the first 2 Captain America films. And then 2 years later, this film came out. It's called Snowpiercer. For those of you who haven't seen Snowpiercer, this is a post-apocalyptic film where all of society exists on this bullet train that just circles, constantly, and it can never stop. Okay, and the classes of people that are on this train are divided by the cars. The poors, the working stiffs, the absolute dregs of society are in the caboose, while the elites are in the front. And as you go through this film, you see what people have had to do to survive, what happens to them, and what happens when every cog in the machine keeps going along with the lie. It is very dark. It is very bloody, but also rings very true in terms of what happens when oligarchy, when the uber rich control everything for their benefit solely and use up and destroy everyone else to accomplish that. It is really, yeah, Cher, I don't disagree with you. It's a very bad movie. But the message is what I'm talking about here. It's not in any way realistic in terms of, yeah. But the message of the film is the essence of the film is what I'm talking about. I'm not giving it any stars as a film. Don't worry. But these are the things we have to come to these hard truths that we are perpetuating this every single day. We are perpetuating this society on ourselves every single day that we contribute in all of the ways that we do. Okay. And I'm just as guilty, right? I'm still ordering shit from Amazon. I have my iPhones. I have my iMac, and I'm slowly working out ways to not be part of it. Right. But the more you can do that, the more you can disengage yourself, to disassociate yourself, to distance yourself from this machine that is running literally everything. That's the only way we do it. And there will be a lot of shit that goes on. This is not going to go peacefully. This is not going to go, with a whimper. These guys have all the money. They have all the playing cards. But it's time to stand the fuck up, guys. It's really time to stand the fuck up. All right. I'm going to cut this short. My voice is going. I got to go do this. I got to go do my albuterol, guys, and take these dogs out again who are whining at me. But thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to pop up those other 2 videos that I made. Keep tuning in, guys. We're gonna have to fight through this together, because this isn't about like, let's all get sad now, we're part of this machine, fuck it. No, we stand together and we fight as one. Okay, and we win, because ultimately truth, justice, and decency will win out, but they will not win out without people working for it. It's gonna be work. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I love you. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you, as always, to my mods. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here. We got to stand up. We got to make our voices heard here in America. Don't delay. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button, subscribe. Become a member. Hit up my link tree, and I'll see you guys next time.